Now, this is lovely. A film graduate from Bristol has raised £250,000 to turn his, what was a final year university project, into a movie. The Fence is based on memories of living in the Hartcliffe area of Bristol in 1983. Pam Caulfield's report, though, does contain some flash photography.
It's a fast-paced, witty film full of character set in 80s Bristol. You wouldn't know The Fence started out as Will Stone's university project, based on his dad's tales of growing up in the city.
He used to just tell me about how there was just fights all the time and teachers would batter you and stuff like that, and they would just muck about all the time, and I just couldn't believe it because it was so far away from my own experience.
Genuinely an accident, but she swung first, we all saw that.
Despite the original short film gaining 4.5 million views online, Will couldn't convince any production companies to turn it into a full-length movie. So he and a friend spent months cold-calling investors and raised £250,000 to launch the production. But the expenses quickly stacked up.
Everybody's got to be in the right costume and everybody has to have their hair done, and all the cars and all the bikes and everything has to have a level of attention to detail that would usually cost an absolute fortune. I rang up a producer and I said, "Do you have any tips?" And he was basically like, "Yeah, don't do it."
They set out bargaining for low-cost 80s-themed props and locations. The owners of this social club allowed them to use it for free.
The generosity shown by a lot of people on this whole project has been amazing, and that sort of Bristol community, like the film couldn't exist without it.
The plot centres around the people who once lived here, the street in Hartcliffe where his dad was raised.
It's just a big community. Everybody knew everybody in every street. It was all council houses, so nobody had any money as such. So everything we did have, we either shared or just borrowed off each other.
And how do you think you'll feel watching the full piece?
Very proud, yeah. Regardless of the result, just the work that went into it was massive.
And after years of hard work, the film is finally getting its premiere.
They managed to cast a number of local stars, such as Bristol comedian Jade Adams.
I don't know nothing about any parks.
And Paul Cooper from the Gloucestershire-based BBC series This Country.
Will has done an amazing job, and it felt so good when we were filming it. And he rang me up and gave me this brilliant part. Gibbsy, who runs Bristol's biggest scaffolding company.
Right then, why did you hit my guy?
A real character, great role to play. And I think that kind of 80s theme, this could really be a big cult film.
The film's released this Friday at the Showcase Cinemas in Bristol City Centre and Avonmeads, after which it will be available to rent online. Pam Caulfield, BBC Points West, Bristol.
I cannot wait to see that. It just looks absolutely brilliant, doesn't it? So it's called The Fence, as you just saw. Have a look at on the web as well, on the website, because there's loads of information from Will about how he made it and the jeopardy of raising money and everything. It's brilliant. Now, for most